What's up, everybody? My name is Acleus here bringing another amazing video. And this video is just gonna be a quick little review on the movie Avatar Fire and Ash. I just got back from the theaters. We watched it in IMAX. I drove all the way 40 minutes across town because we don't have one in my area, so I had to drive far across town to go to the theater for the IMAX theater. And I gotta say, I don't want to say I'm disappointed, because I'm definitely not disappointed. The movie was good overall. Like, I'd probably, I don't know, I'll wait for my rating towards the end of it, but overall the movie was pretty good. It was just long, and a lot of parts were just unnecessary for no reason there, I feel like, and it just kind of repetitive, if you ask me. I'm gonna try to not make any spoilers, or at least major spoilers. Maybe there's something that, you want to stay away from, and if that's so, then click off this video now. But I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be releasing any, like, real spoilers. I'm not gonna say, this person dies, or whatever, anything like that, so you don't have to worry about spoilers. Just maybe just more just like an overall recap of the movie. I can't even talk. Kind of what happened was, overall, that I kind of was getting kind of sick about watching was the main antagonist was just kind of taking and recapturing the same character over and over. Like, they were looking for the kid from the second movie, and they looked for him for the whole movie. It felt like the whole movie was just like, I'm trying to get this kid, and then they capture him, and then he escapes, or someone helps him out, and then they capture him, and then someone helps him out, and then they go through a whole talk and dialogue, and then something happens, and then he escapes. Then all of a sudden, we're literally 90% of the way in the movie, and we're still fighting over this kid, and it's wild. And then it just kind of, I don't know, just kind of goes all over the place, I feel like, a little bit. Yes, the whole point of what everyone's going for, it was visually stunning. Obviously, that's just out of the talk, because everyone knows it's gonna be visually stunning, and that's the whole reason why people go see the Avatar movie. Because honestly, the story, mid at best, if I had to say, because it was just kind of all over there, like, just like the second one, just like long and boring with a lot of unnecessary parts. And then you're just sitting there waiting for something to happen, and then when something finally does happen, you're like, finally, let's get this going. And then they just slow right back down again, and then just talking again. And it's just, I don't know, just like the visuals were stunning, the water was stunning. And that's the other thing I wanted to say too. For a movie called Fire and Ash, there was no fire in that movie whatsoever. I mean, there was fire, don't be right, there was fire. I don't want to say there was none. But, like, for a movie that's called Fire and Ash, I expect, like, 75% of the movie be, like, fire. Like, someone burning down the forest and shit like that. But it barely happened. It really, like, honestly, I feel like the first half of the movie was just talk. There wasn't really anything going on, and really no fire, and just a lot of recapping what happened in the second one, and then just kind of going off over and over. Because, like, literally the first half of the movie, I feel like I was just there going, all right, and then finally something happened. And then the last, of course, half of the movie, the last hour of the movie, which, again, it's 3 hours long. So I was actually kind of surprised I didn't have to go to the bathroom. I was thinking it was gonna be bad, because I was sipping through my icy. I was like halfway through my icy in the first, like, 25% of the movie. I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad for a 3 hour long movie. And like I said, I just don't think it needed to be 3 hours. In my opinion, it just was long and unnecessary. But yeah, literally everything happened in the last hour, and I was like, finally, let's go. And then they kind of just leave it, like, I don't want to say, like, in a cliffhanger, but that, like, it's kind of like just bringing it to the next movie, obviously, because they got to set up the next movie. But I'm telling you, there really wasn't that much fire. Like, the only fire, like, there was a little bit. And then that's the other thing too. For the Ash part, they were showing off all the trailers. They were showing off this giant volcano that I thought was gonna be a bigger problem in the movie, but they showed it once in the movie. They showed this fire thing for one scene of the volcano, that what happened. And then from there, nothing ever happened with it again. So I was like, all right, I guess that's not really part of the movie anymore. And then from there, it's just kind of, I don't even know how to say it. Like I said, I just felt like I wanted to see more fire, more like burning trees down. Everyone's, going down. We have to fight in the water over here, but really it just wasn't that. And I don't know, maybe I just was expecting a little bit different of a type of thing. But like I said, it was just very repetitive, trying to recapture the same guy over and over. Like, even my mom noticed it. She was like, they've captured this kid like 6 times already in this movie. Like, how many times more are we gonna capture him? Just I don't know, like, and as much as I would say the IMAX experience was like really took me out of my seat, which it kind of did. It was beautiful, but it really wasn't like as crazy as like the first Avatar, which was like out of this world, where it was like, oh my god, the colors, everything. I need to see this in IMAX, and that's why we specifically drove all the way across town to go see this in IMAX. And I gotta say, I probably could have saw the XD or just the regular one over here on my side of town, because it really just did not like, whoa. There was only like probably one scene where like the colors and like it was like a very trippy moment. Like if you're on any type of narcotics or anything like that, you probably would have been like, whoa. It was a pretty cool scene, I gotta admit. But other than that, like the colors were there and it was beautiful, I gotta say, but really wasn't IMAX material. And I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little too nitpicky. I was kind of getting a little bored with it, so I don't know, maybe I'm just being too harsh with the movie, but I just don't think it gets the hype. I don't think I got the hype that everyone was like, holy shit, you gotta see this movie. It's a banger. It was not a banger. Definitely not a banger. I've seen banger movies. I know bangers, and that was not a banger. It was just a long, unnecessary movie, I feel like. Just setting up for the next movie, type thing, which we're gonna have to wait another 2 years or however long for the next element, like, I don't know, like, because at least, like, with the last movie, like, for instance, like, in the first, the reason why I was complaining about the fire thing is, for instance, like, in the first movie, Avatar, it was kind of, even though really nobody knew it yet, it was really the earth, the beautiful, trees and everything, and all the colors and the plants and the roots, and it was like, all right, we get that. And then the second movie, The Way of the Water, it's based, like, 90% of it's based around, like, these water camps and, like, underwater and all the scenery and stuff, and I was like, hell yeah. So that's why I was kind of going into this movie expecting to see, like, fire everything. We're gonna see these people living in the Firelands, or something, which we really did not get to see a lot of character development. And that's what I'm wild at me, because, like I said, it was 3 hours and the character development was just not there. I feel like, I don't know, like maybe I'm just being too harsh of a critic, and I was maybe not going in it with as open of a mind as what I wanted. And I feel like I'm a hater too, because I did enjoy the movie. It was good. It was just maybe not the hype that it's like leading up to be. I would maybe wait. If you're on the fence about seeing this movie in theaters, if you really want to see the true IMAX experience or anything, the colors, it's there, go see it if you got time. But otherwise, I would honestly might want to wait for this one to hit the streaming networks, and then you can watch it in your home, go to the bathroom whenever you want, pause, because I don't know, it wasn't for me. So I give it a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7, but probably a solid 6. And that's only for the visuals and like the sound, because like the sound was actually really good, like the speakers and like the subs, when like the blasts were hitting you and stuff. It was like, okay, we're hitting, but that might have been just because I was in the IMAX theater. It probably wouldn't have been like all crazy before. But that's pretty much the only reason why I'm giving it a 6. Like I said, it was really repetitive and just the same thing. Like, if you asked anyone, name a character other than the main character Jake in the movie, I couldn't name you a character in the movie. And I feel like I was paying attention, going, all right, that guy's that, and that, this, like, like, same thing too. The last thing I wanted to rate about too is, I feel like the whole movie, like the first movie and the second movie, his wife, I forgot her name now, or same thing, I don't know the name, but his wife with the bow lady, she, like, one of the main characters, beautiful with the bow, and she was nasty and just, honestly, just a goddess with that bow, killing people all crazy. And then from there, in this one, 90% of the movie, she's just sitting to the side, not talking, and, she can't draw her bow because she's injured. And then finally, we get to see her badassness in the last, like I said, like 30 minutes of the movie. I'm like, let's go! And then everything else, we could probably skip a lot of it. Like I said, I probably could have gone to the bathroom early on in the movie, and I guarantee I wouldn't have missed nothing. So, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little too crazy about this movie, but I just personally think if you're not into the visual aspects of the movie, and you're just kind of like, you're bored enough, go see it. But otherwise, I would probably wait for the streaming networks to go see, this movie, honestly. So that's just my humble opinion. Maybe I'm mistreating it, and I can't wait to see it again in streaming networks, because I like to stream. I like to re-see my movies so I can look around for things that I never noticed the first time. And it's really cool to see that. So that I'll give it another chance when it hits the streaming networks. But I don't know, I feel like I probably could have saved my money and probably gone to go see a better movie that wasn't 3 hours long. So I don't know, I feel like half my night's already gone at this point. So I don't know about that. Now I'm kind of rambling about it, but I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. I'd probably wait for it to hit the streaming networks, is my personal opinion. So anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more awesome videos like this. And as always, I'm Zach T9. Have a wonderful night. Deuces.